Hello, and welcome to today's National Small Business Government Contractors Association webinar. Before we begin, I'd like to note that this webinar is being recorded and all presentation materials will be posted on our website. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the Q&A feature, or you can email us at events@nsbgca.org. I'd now like to introduce today's speaker with IRA Club. Welcome, Ramez Bulkri.
Thank you for having me. And I just want to jump right into it because I know we have exactly 30 minutes. But today we're talking about, as a small business owner, how we could look beyond the traditional 401k, because I do promise you there is a smarter way of investing, and there's strategies that most small business owners are not aware of. So again, the focus today is to discuss how our platform with IRA Club SBS, which stands for Small Business Solutions, could help you not only save fees. We also use AI technology, but the best part of it about it is we also give you the flexibility for not just you, the business owner, but your employees, to offer them alternative investments, whether it's land, syndications, private equity deals. But I also do think it's important to understand how this all came about. So the question that always comes up is, who is the IRA Club? Well, it started back in 2008 by Dennis Blitz, our fearless leader. He actually is a gentleman, for those that do have a securities license, like a Series 6, 7, 65, 66 per se. He's the gentleman who actually wrote the test and the text for the US government. So kind of a big deal when it comes to compliance. We've actually helped open over 25,000 accounts. We manage just under $2 billion assets under administration. And we've literally connected with over 250,000 one-on-one phone calls. Okay. In particular, most of those are going to be individuals. And one of the biggest things that I like comparing us to is, again, and this is the analogy that I always like giving, just think of us like Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab, right? What are the main differences between Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, and IRA Club? As they're a bank, TPA, custodian, administrator. IRA Club is all of those things. We are a broker-dealer, a TPA administrator. Your money's FDIC insured right here at the IRA Club. But the main difference is to the individuals, right? Because I'm actually addressing this conversation to you, the individual. We give you the flexibility to invest in anything your heart desires. Okay. The only catch is IRA Club is never going to choose the investment for the investor. That is what a self-directed retirement account is all about. The term self-direction, by the way, means control. Okay. Unfortunately, I hate to say this out loud. Only 3% of Americans have or do a true self-directed retirement account. So the reason why I say that out loud is just be careful, because I would say the past 2 or 3 years, a lot of our clients have now been listening and hearing from their financial advisors and brokers. Why would you want to move those accounts over to IRA Club when you could self-direct with us? What they're basically telling you is you're just stuck within their pool of investments, again, which is stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. Not in our case, not here at the IRA Club. It is not considered a true self-directed retirement account, right? Again, we give you the flexibility to buy single-family homes, oil and gas, vacant land, agricultural land. You could invest in anything your heart desires except for three things, right? It's going to be collectibles, a S corp, and you could not invest in your own life insurance policy. In fact, this is the point that I was trying to make. Only 3% of Americans have a true self-directed retirement account. Okay. Unfortunately, $45 trillion, okay, traditionally sits within bank CDs, annuities, and the majority of that is going to be mutual funds. So what we're trying to teach you and educate you on is there's more opportunity within your retirement account. So that is what true self-direction is in my eyes, and here at the IRA Club. And this is what we educate small business owners about also. So remember, you choose your own strategies. We're not going to choose your risk tolerance. We're going to have you, or we're going to allow you to invest in alternative assets like I discussed. We want you to diversify beyond Wall Street. And just, again, We don't have an issue or problem with the stock market because we want to give you the flexibility as an IRA Club client to offer a fully diversified portfolio. In fact, if you're looking, this is what the typical IRA Club client's portfolio looks like. Okay, broken up. It's just our message again has always been tailored to the individual. As of recently, we said, why not offer this to a small business owner also? We are already a broker dealer. We're fully integrated to Apex Clearing. We talk a lot about alternative assets, but people are very limited as a business owner, do not understand that this is even a viable option. In fact, if you click, two things that I do want to point out. While we're having a lot of these one-on-one conversations, let's say if we're at an event, we host about 65 live events a year or go to 65 live events a year. Not to mention, I would say we probably talk to about a good 50 to 100 small business owners at these events, and a lot of them don't realize that you can, and this is an option, to access alternative assets within 401k employer plans. So and this is something that I always showcase, is this was an actual executive order by Donald Trump back in August 7th, literally a year ago, 2025. This allows you to do this. The other thing that most small business owners are not aware of, 17 states have now mandated that you must offer some sort of retirement account, okay, within within 5 or more employees, except for the state of California. So if you are listening to this and you do live in the state of California and you are the sole proprietor of your own company, let's say an LLC, C Corp, or S Corp, you are required by law to have a retirement account. The majority in the rest of these states are actually going to be 5 or more. And keep in mind, if there are 32 more states that have this actually live and passing through legislation. So just keep in mind, from now until 2030, I'm probably going to assume that almost all 50 states are going to require that you have some sort of retirement account for your employees. Now, if you scan this QR code, it's going to take you to a great article, and it's going to give you a full-blown breakdown, including hyperlinks on which state offers what type of retirement plan. But the things that I want you to be very aware of and how these state plans actually work, the majority of them are set up as a Roth IRA account. So let's just assume I live here in Chicago. IRA Club SBS and IRA Club are literally based in downtown Chicago. So because we are based in Illinois and we have 5 or more employees, we are mandated to offer some sort of retirement account. If you decide that you don't want to do a 401k plan or a simple IRA plan, they're automatically going to put you inside of a Roth IRA, which means you can't get a deduction up front, meaning you and or your employees. But this is a way to battle inflation and to keep people aware that we need to do something when it comes to the real issues that we're facing, or the underlying issues that we're facing, is every single government program that we have, from Medicare to Medicaid to Social Security, is in complete shambles. So everything right now is working against your retirement account. That also includes the volatility of the market. Taxes will never be cheaper than where they're at right now. It's only going to go in one direction because America is a progressive tax system. So understanding, I just mentioned our government programs in complete shambles, not to mention inflation works against your 401k. So they need to do something. And these are the first 17 states to offer something for employees, because Social Security, unfortunately, is going to either be lessened or they're going to either raise the minimum of the age from 62 to potentially 70 years old. That's also been addressed and been introduced in Congress. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but the second point is it automatically defaults that your CPA has to set this up for you if you have 5 or more employees. And again, it's targeting small business owners, typically individuals that have between 1 to 25 employees. Okay. Now, we do have a different solution for within IRA Club SBS. It's called payroll deduction IRAs. Because unfortunately, the only option that you're going to have with these state plans, the majority of them, are you're going to be put inside an ETF S&P 500. Okay, so they're very limited at the end of the day. Now, what I want to cover is why the traditional 401ks are definitely holding businesses back. I want to also discuss the difference between a flat fee model and a percentage-based model and why a flat fee model is much more powerful. I want to discuss the best of both worlds, offering both market tradition in the traditional sense of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs, and also alternative assets, but also how we use AI to protect and preserve a 401k or IRA account, okay? And how we could also set that up on autopilot. Not to mention, remember, education is one of the pillars of IRA Club and IRA Club SBS. We're going to offer you live support, and we're going to show you how you could even get started. Now, why are most small business owners unaware of this? I want to just mention one thing and one thing only. 67% of small business owners do not realize what their actual fees are, all right, or what their employer fees are. I will tell you that fees do, as your account grows, so do their pockets, and we're going to break those numbers down in a split second. But also, a lot of these administrators and TPAs rely on the small business owner to do all of the filings, payroll integrations. Sometimes they also require that you be responsible for the compliance checks, right? We actually here at IRA Club SBS will take that burden on for you, meaning the non-discriminatory testing, top-heavy testing, expense ratio testing. We fully integrate to every single payroll provider. Or any major payroll provider. We could get into that a little bit later, but also understanding how limited, right, your investment menu is. I will tell you that 88% of small business owners put their employees inside a mutual fund because that is their definition of diversification. That is not our definition of diversification, right? We, as I mentioned, why not offer the best of both worlds to your employees? Why not offer real estate, land, syndications, private equity deals inside their 401ks? But they all have to start somewhere. Okay. One of the biggest things that people do not understand is, as a small business owner, if, for example, we set up a 401k or a simple IRA or a payroll deduction IRA, if you have employees, the money has to be invested from day one. So if the money is pulled from the employee's paycheck, it has to go directly into something and it has to be invested. So remember, we do have stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs that we do offer as part of these 401k plans. We also refer to them as the 40 Act funds, but we also do have an AI trading platform. And I think that's what I do want to focus on more than anything. So, we partnered with a tech company called iFlip. iFlip offers something called AI Smartfolios. You may ask, well, what is an AI Smartfolio? Well, it's already a basket of, instead of we call it a portfolio, we call them a smartfolio. And what the AI really does is it protects and preserves something that you can't touch until you're 59 and a half. So think of it like this. You're putting your 401k on cruise control, right? By picking your risk tolerance. And that's what I'm going to get into in the next slide. But depending on what your risk tolerance is, what the AI is going to do, as I just mentioned a split second ago, is going to protect you off the market drop. So let me give you an example. Since iFlip's inception in 2019, so this has been around a while. This is not something that's new that iFlip has launched. Their flagship AI Smartfolio has outperformed the S&P 500. So, for example, if you put a $10,000 investment, if you tap it to look at that orange line of where the AI started back in 2019, so you're 10,000, and where the S&P 500 fell, and you're assuming this number is from January of 2019 to January of 2026, you would have made $34,000 versus $27,000. Why? Because the AI has something called algorithms. And an algorithm is a mathematical equation. And I would tell you there's over 3,000 algorithms that are connected to their own AI proprietary. What does that mean, proprietary? It's their own AI solution, not using ChatGPT, for example, or Claude or Gemini. So it's unbiased. It takes human emotion out of it, and every single person is going to get the exact same result always. Versus if somebody was to use, let's say, Claude or ChatGPT, if you put something in there like, say, give me, the best 5 stocks to buy today versus tomorrow, every single person would have a different answer. That's the difference between our own proprietary AI. It's unbiased, so very important. But it starts with offering their core smartfolios, right? This is something I can't do. This is not something you as the business owner could do for your employees. You are not going to choose their risk tolerance. So we will actually have them take a survey once we decide that we want to move forward. And we always tell them to start off with a conservative, balanced, or an aggressive portfolio. In the future, as these accounts do grow, they can layer up by something called an additive smartfolio, which basically implies you could get into certain sectors like energy, tech, oil, gas. And keep in mind, I can't go through every single one of these AI smartfolios and what their descriptions are. But if you would like to scan that QR code, and it'll give you a full-blown breakdown of the 16 different AI smartfolios and what's inside of them. And we could also schedule a demo if you ever want to see or get a thorough breakdown of how the AI actually works on the backside. But here's the truth. Numbers never lie. Okay. Since the January 1st of this year to year to date till June 18th. So sorry, not year to date till June 18th of 2026, you could see, as volatile as the markets have been, obviously with the war and everything else that's going on, you could see what the returns have been like depending on what AI smartfolio you're jumping in. Okay. Why does this matter for a retirement account? As I mentioned, it protects you off the market drops. None of us want to experience a 2008 crash. Okay. Imagine, just picture this in your head. You have a 401k account. You're approaching retirement, right? You're almost 60 years old. You're approaching retirement, and you lost half of your portfolio overnight. And why? Because you physically can't touch it because you're employed by the employer, and you physically cannot touch that money until you leave your employer. Well, what the AI is going to do is protect you from a 2008 crash. In fact, the AI smartfolio back then, instead of you losing almost half of your portfolio, you lost about 21% of your portfolio. Fast forward to the 2022, where if you actually you Google the number, where Fidelity will tell you a 401k or IRA lost about 20%. Well, our AI smartfolios lost about 5%. So why is that so crucial to understand? It's daily rebalancing your 401k account. It is buying, selling, and holding on behalf of your 401k, so you don't have to worry about losing potentially 10, 20, 30% of your 401k or IRA. It's built to outperform what's currently going on, right? And it's the long game. Always remember, your IRAs and 401ks, typically you got to look at them decade by decade. So why not have something to protect it at the end of the day? And the thing that I do want to talk about is simple, transparent pricing. Okay. All employees have a flat fee of $7 a month. We don't believe in percentages at all. Why is that so crucial to understand? Remember, pretty much a third of what you make in your lifetime, right? If you are with your employer, let's just say for 10, 20, 30 years, will eat up about a third of what you make. So we're going to back this up right now in the next few slides. I'm going to break that down for you. Versus a flat fee model. And as I mentioned earlier, 68% of individuals, right, do not know how to calculate these fees, in particular, these hidden fees like 1215B fees, expense ratio fees, buy, sell fees, admin fees, and if it's being being managed, better yet, by a fiduciary or let's say an RIA, they typically tack about 1% on top of that. Okay, so let's break that down. Let's just say you had $25,000 to start for 35 years, all right, and you didn't make a single contribution. Assuming within that 35-year grace period, because the truth is in 35 years, the markets have given you about a 7% return. Well, if you're looking at this individual that had a fee structure of 0.5 versus this individual that had a fee structure of 1.5, well, guess what? He lost a third of what he actually would have made through the fees that are being charged here. Why is this so important to understand? I mentioned to you that small business owners that typically have 100 or less employees are being charged on a national average 2.27% versus the larger institutions that have 100 or more employees are being charged somewhere around 1%. Okay, let's break down these numbers. I just mentioned that iFlip, which is the tech company that charges $7 a month, flat fees, which is $84 for the year. Assuming you started, let's say, with $10,000 and you were making an annual contribution of $10,000 for the next 10 years. Let's also assume we're going to mimic the S&P 500 and it's going to give you 10% returns on your money. Well, I just mentioned that IRA Club and iFlip's fees are $84 versus the 1 to 2%. IRA Club in that 10-year span will save you just under $22,000 because it is a flat fee model. But imagine if it was for 15 years that you held the account with us, or 20 years, or 25 years. This is the power of compounding. This is what your employees are being charged on that 1 to 2%. Well, you may ask, what is the employer or the plan sponsor business owner being charged? Well, it depends on the type of plan. And that obviously starts off with a conversation with us. Every single business owner has a different set of goals that they're trying to reach and what they want to offer their employees. But our starter plan starts at $950, which is typically our payroll deduction IRAs, which a lot of our small business owners love versus the state plans. Then we could get into the core. So depending on the type of retirement account, we could set them up on a simple IRA. Also, a traditional 401k can apply, but then we also have these enterprise plans that really give you the flexibility to also do the alternative assets. Now, keep in mind, alternative assets are a lot harder to administer right within a 401k plan versus an IRA plan. Why? An IRA plan, full disclosure, has less than 20 pages worth of rules and regulations versus a 401k plan has almost 200 pages worth of rules and regulations that we will keep compliant for you, being the small business owner. Well, we talk to a lot of small business owners that think that at $39.50, that's pretty high. Well, okay, let's go ahead and break down those exact same numbers. Now, let's just assume, same concept we did for the individual, for the employees. Let's just say you're a small business owner with 10 employees and the average employee is making a $10,000 yearly contribution. That's also assuming you're doing an employer match of some sort. So let's just say the average is 10,000. And every year, year after year, they're putting 10,000. So that means if you take 10 employees, multiply that by 10, your starting balance is going to be $100,000. And every year between you, because you are part of your own plan, you are a plan sponsor of your own plan, a participant of your own plan, all of you are going to be putting about $100,000 collectively each year as a company. Okay? Well, let's use the same numbers, 10%. The only difference is, if we're going to say you're in the enterprise plan, which is the highest plan that we could potentially charge you, which is $39.50, versus what maybe Avoya, John Hancock, Empower, maybe Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, T. Rowe Price. Like I said, there's 10,000 different companies that are out there. They may charge you between 25, let's say, to 50 basis points. Okay, well, and a 10-year span, IRA Club would save you just under $30,000. But imagine, same concept, power of compounding, the difference between a flat fee model and a percentage-based model. Well, after 15 years, we would save you and your company 138,000. 20 years, 411, almost $1 million if you hold that 401k plan as the business owner for you and all your employees. I could potentially save you $1 million in a 25-year grace period. Don't forget, we will also set it up the account for you by connecting directly to your payroll provider. Okay, we connect to 350 plus payroll providers. Assuming you don't even connect to any of the one of the payroll providers through our systems, don't worry about it. We will set everything up for you. Don't forget, we will do the record keeping and the filing and the 5,500 forms. Keep in mind, a new rule as of 2026, if you would like to do alternative assets within your 401k plan, in the past, to file a 5,500 form, you would have to have $250,000 or more. That is not the case for an alternative asset, which means if you have a house on 123 Green Street inside your 401k plan, guess what? I do have to file a 5,500 easy form. So we will do that on behalf of you and all your employees if you should decide to do alternative assets. Okay. And keep in mind, if you do want to work with one of our fiduciaries, you're more than welcome to. Obviously, there will be a fee that's attached to it. But we not only set you up for success, we are also going to educate you as the administrator. We want you and your employees to understand everything that you're getting from top to bottom. We provide Zoom calls. We also provide blogs, podcasts, webinars. We also hold a live event that you're more than welcome to come to if you want to educate yourself even further with these workshop classes that we offer. Okay. So we never leave you high and dry. We want to make sure that you are understanding everything that you're doing within the plans. And also understanding the benefits that your employees are going to get. Because I'm telling you now more than ever, employees want to know what they're getting within a retirement plan. Okay, these are the reasons why we really push heavily on why you may want to consider joining our group. And then remember, we're built for every different type of company. Okay. We, believe it or not, there are 64 million small business owners across the entire country. And this is kind of the majority of what we fall under, right? 1 and 2 at IRA Club SBS. Okay. But keep in mind, even if you have 26 to 99 employees, right, there's only a million companies that have that versus 100 plus employees. It's only 350,000. So it's not as big as you think it is, that pool anyways. And getting started is easy. We're going to schedule a call, right? You're going to sit down, talk to us. We're going to discover what type of plan that you're going to want to get into, all right? We're going to connect directly to your payroll, and that's kind of off to the races. And we will sit down with you and your employees on what all that looks like. But it all starts with a discovery call. That's the most important thing. If you want to scan this QR code and you're just going to get asked 8 questions, right? Very basic questions: your name, your company name, how many employees do you have? Do you have a current 401k plan? And again, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Not just for you, but the company and your employees. So we just want to make sure that we're setting you up in the right type of plan. Anyways, I try to burn through this as fast as humanly possible. Kind of give like a minute or two, just in case anybody had any, questions. Oh, everyone's quiet today. All right.
I don't see anything here in the Q&A, but if anybody does have any questions, as mentioned previously, you can always reach out to our team directly and we can put you in contact. I do want to thank you so much for everybody's time today. Ramez, that was a great presentation. And as a
You're welcome.
reminder, we'll be posting this on our website. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Likewise. Thank you, guys.